This is Israel over at Accurate Fishing Products. We had some questions on Facebook and other social media asking about how to disassemble and service your twin spin SR 12, 20, 30, and 50 spools. It's a pretty simple process. It's a 4-step process for disassembly, and then you just follow the steps on the way back for reassembly. I'm going to show you some of the tools we use and some of the methods that we use for taking apart and servicing the SR spools. First thing that you use, or that you have to take apart, is the spool cover. Now this is a right-handed thread spool cover. Usually you can get it off just by putting palm pressure down and it'll simply just loosen off. If you're having an issue where it's too tight, or the threads are a little jammed, you can use a piece of latex rubber, a rubber glove like this, and that'll actually give you better friction for removing the spool, and also when you go to put the spool back on and tighten it down to really cinch the threads down. So those are two things you can use for getting that off and also putting it back on. You just simply take the spool cover off. A lot of threads, but that'll access the retaining screws for your drag shaft and the drag nut. So the first thing you want to use when you're in your actual tools, this is a PH/00 by 40 Phillips. It's a little small Phillips head screwdriver. Get those retainer screws out. And once you have those off, you got your drag nut right here. Now this one, left-handed thread or right-handed thread as well. That's going to come out. You got your beveled washers. Now when you're taking if you're taking anything apart with a bevel washer, just make sure that you pay attention to which way the washers are stacked. As you can see, the first one is cup side down or upside down. The two top washers kind of make a clam shape, and that all comes together in this stack right here. So just make sure you put it back together in that same manner, else you won't have any drag range. And then just simply push your drag shaft out of the spool. It'll come out. You have a little bottom washer right there, bottom spacers. Now this is one of the trickier parts of the disassembly. When you get into taking the spool cover off the bottom, there's a couple things you can do. Sometimes we'll use a punch, kind of like this, just something that'll fit into the hole and actually push up against the drag washer on the bottom. Sometimes you can improvise, you can use just anything long enough to go down and make contact with that drag plate, as you can see down here on the edge, so you can make pressure on the spool cover. So I'm just going to use this punch here and push down, and there you go. You've got your bottom drag washer, spool cover, your two spool bearings. Now you can access your bottom drag washer, your carbon fiber drag washer, and your top carbon fiber drag washer. Like I said, when you go back into reassembly on this spool, just make sure that you go in the same step that you took it apart in, and everything should go back together fine. Alright guys, just one quick tip on your spool reassembly. When you're putting the bottom spool cover back on, you want to make sure that the gasket is seated evenly. Sometimes it can come up, but if you just go ahead and lightly put it in and then just slightly press down on each side all the way around, putting even pressure, that'll make sure that it's seated all the way around, your gasket's holding tight, and everything's sticking good together. And that's it. And that's how you service your SR 12, 20, 30, and 50 spools in the twin spin line. Accurate Fishing Products. Thank you very much.